Hi everybody, welcome to 5 Minute Ministries. The Bible tells us not to provoke our children to anger. Now, in our modern ideas and modern mentality, people think that don't provoke your children to anger means don't upset them at all. And they're not even coming from a biblical perspective on this. It's the idea, don't give your children discipline. Don't give them rules. Don't give them boundaries or standards. Let them do, think, say, and act however they want. Otherwise you are stopping them from achieving their, quote, full potential and being, quote, who they really are. But that's not what the Bible says. It means when it says, do not provoke your children to anger. Because let's face it, our children are going to get angry with us because we have boundaries and because they get disciplined when those boundaries are crossed, because we have expectations, because we say, you shouldn't hang out with those types of people. You should not be friends with that person because of X, Y, Z. And they're going to get mad about that. And honestly, we should be making them angry about that. If they're angry about that, it means we're doing our job and trying to protect them and trying to help them to make wise decisions. So what does the Bible mean when it says, do not provoke your children to anger? Well, I want you to think about it this way. What provokes you to anger in a job setting or in a friendship setting or in a church setting even? What upsets you? What provokes your anger? And usually that's a good indication of things not to do to your children. But I want to discuss some of the ideas. I won't be talking about everything, but here are just some ideas of what provokes children to anger. First of all, when you have inconsistent rules and inconsistent boundaries. Today, this is okay, but tomorrow, that won't be okay. You are allowed to do this today, but tomorrow you won't be allowed to do that. And when your rules are not consistent and you change your mind on them all the time, it will frustrate your children. Or how about hypocrisy? You say to your children, you don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't cuss, you don't do drugs, but you do all of those things, or even just one of those things. If you're doing things that you tell your children that they should not be doing, it looks hypocritical to them and it frustrates them. It's okay for mom and dad. Why is it not okay for me? You provoke your children to anger with favoritism. This child can do no wrong, but this child can do no right. This child is constantly hammered with every time that even a toe gets out of line. You're over there ready to correct and rebuke that child. But that other child walks all over mom and dad and does whatever he or she wants. And you're going to provoke children to wrath when you do that. Or how about when your love is conditional? If you do the things I say, you obey me and as perfectly as you can, then I will show you love. But once you get out of line, even in the slightest, I will withhold my love from you. That is certainly going to cause a lot of rifts between you and the child, especially as they get older. And when they become adults, why don't my children visit me? And it's because you showed them conditional love. And when you do that, they think you don't love them at all. Or how about constant criticism? When they get out of line in the slightest, you're over there ready to pounce on them and tell them what they did wrong, why they're wrong, and how they're wrong, instead of trying to help them to stay in the right. Nothing is good enough. How is it, oh, you cleaned that up, but you could have did this better. You didn't put this in the right spot. Or you made a drawing for me. Well, your sun doesn't look quite right. And the car looks terrible. You put 3 windows on the houses when there should be 4. And one of the biggest things that will really provoke your children to wrath is never admitting when you are wrong. You never seek the child's forgiveness. You never apologize. If you're in the wrong, and even if the child calls you out, you just turn it around and say, hey, I'm the parent, you're the child, and it doesn't matter what I do. It only matters what you do. You obey me no matter what. And you have this attitude that you were never wrong. And when you do that, you really frustrate your children. And if there are any others that I missed, certainly you know what they are because they frustrate you. So ask yourself, am I doing any of these things? I know, and to some degree, we've all done them. But if this is consistently in your life, if this is consistently within your parenting skills, quote unquote, then those things need to change. You need to repent of those to God, and you need to seek forgiveness from your children for being that way and make changes. This has been 5 Minute Ministries, and I'll see you next time.